Hey Junkies, Micah checking in just before the podcast here with Jeff Driskel, just to give you an update on everything going on in the world that is Pigskin Junkies. This podcast was recorded the day before the draft, so it is a little bit behind when it comes to that, but we wanted to save it for this big news. Our website is officially up and ready to rock and roll. It is Pigskin Junkies, all one word, .co, and that will take you to our website where you can subscribe to our newsletter. It'll ask you right off the bat before you can even move around on our website to enter some of your information. No, we don't need your credit card info, so don't worry about that. Along with hyperlinks to all our social media accounts. This will be kind of your one-stop shop for everything you need to know with us. We're going to have newsletters coming up, blog posts, and just your one place to go for everything outside of Twitter. And a little bit of interaction with you guys as well on this platform. So we're really looking forward to it. We're also really looking forward to you guys being able to listen to this interview with Jeff Driskel. He's obviously, we talk about him all the time on the podcast, good friend of the podcast, and a great guy. And I think you're really going to enjoy this as you get a little insight into somebody who is now trying to figure out what to do in this NFL world that we have today, and also signing with a new team and what that looks like as he heads out to Denver. So we hope you enjoy, and we look forward to football beginning soon. Junkies, stay safe, and we'll talk to you on the other side. What's up, Junkies? Welcome back in for another edition of Pigskin Junkies. Myself, Micah Larson, Big Brother Jared Larson, and Scott Panza. And joining us today, Jeff Driskel, now Denver Broncos quarterback. Jeff, how are we doing today?
Doing well. Thanks for having me, Junkies. Looking forward to talking some shop with you guys.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I know Jared and Scott got some good questions lined up for you today. Obviously, draft starting tomorrow. I have a question, I guess, from me, and I'll start the question. We'll start the first pepper here. But as a QB for your pro day, what were some things that you were really wanting to display, or like you feel as a quarterback are important to display on your pro day to NFL scouts?
Yeah, so I mean, when you go out to your pro day, it's like super scripted. So I was like practicing like a certain script for like weeks in advance. So I kind of knew what everything was coming. Where at the combine, it's, a couple throws here, a couple throws there. See you later. So it was just a way to just show that you can get in a rhythm, make all the throws, show off your arm strength, and just show that you can be a consistent passer rather than, at the combine things were really sporadic. And so yeah, it was cool. I know a lot of guys this year didn't get that opportunity, so that's a bummer for them. But at the end of the day, it's mostly about tape anyways. So the guys who can play, they showed it in college, and they'll hear their names this upcoming weekend.
What did you run at the combine in 40?
I was a 4.56 official time. So, a lot of guys that, give their pro day times, which are typically faster, and I didn't run at my pro day. So I've heard from some scouts from across the league that they had me in the 4.4s. One team had me in the 4.3s. So take that for what you want, Now, on the internet it says 4.56, but I can run away from people.
That's what we want, the inside info. You didn't want to shave a 10th going at the pro day?
No, I showed that I could run. I don't think there was any questions about that. So
yeah, I would agree. So, Scott, I'll let you kick it off. You fire away, buddy.
So we're all stuck. We're all quarantined at home. What are some of your fellow football players saying about when they expect football to return? Have they heard anything, any grumblings amongst the players on when they think this will happen?
Yeah, so we don't really know. I mean, it's kind of like the rest of the country, the rest of the world. Like nobody really knows how long this thing's going to drag out for. Everybody wants live sports back. Everybody wants to be back into normal routine. But at the end of the day, it's about public safety, and we're behind that. But hopefully we get back to normal soon. I have some buddies that are in Major League Baseball, and they're stuck at home right now when they would be playing. So they were in spring training and got sent home. So they're kind of in uncharted territory here. So it hasn't affected football as much because we are in the off season. But hopefully, like, this thing clears up soon, we can get back to our teams and organizations and just get back to work and get back to some normalcy.
Yeah, you and everyone else hoping for that later.
No doubt. There's going to be less sick days used after this quarantine's lifted than ever before.
That is the truth. So I've said it a couple times on this show. I feel like home field advantage is diminishing in terms of its, significance in the NFL. I'm curious to ask you, what does your Saturday routine, kind of pregame routine, look like for a home game versus a road game? Because you're in hotels both nights, the way I understand it.
Yeah, so every team that I've been on, we've been in hotels the night before at home games. I know there's a handful of teams out there that the guys can stay at home. But yeah, I mean, there's meetings at home, in the hotel. You get a snack or whatever, you go to bed and wake up, eat breakfast, and you're in the stadium. So, I mean, you have some time on Saturday to hang out with your family before you have to be at the hotel. But other than that, you're pretty quarantined, I guess. I mean, you're pretty locked down at the hotel with your teammates, and they kind of want you focused on what you're going to do the next day, which is, more important than anything at that time. So, and then away games are just hop on a plane, get there, hang out, eat some dinner, have a couple meetings, and go to bed. So, I mean, it's pretty similar. Just one you ride in a plane, one you don't.
Do you wear a suit? Is it a business trip or no?
Oh yeah. I'm I dress well. Some of these guys dress unbelievably well.
Yeah,
I'm not one of them. I have a handful of suits and a couple different ties, and some of these dudes come with their Kentucky Derby outfits on. But it's definitely it's fun to see everybody dressed up and everything like that. And I mean, it's kind of just a mindset, I guess you'd say, like you said, business trip.
Well, Jared always likes. Sorry, Scott, go ahead.
No, after you, Micah.
I was going to say, Jared always likes trying to say some football talk words here and there. So that's what Jared tries to work them in. Business trip. He'll work some other fundamental football coach words in there eventually.
I got all the buzzwords. I got them all in the library.
I can call you coach if that'd make you feel more comfortable.
I endorse that.
I endorse that.
So Jeff, what's the best stadium that you've played in the pros? Is there a stadium that sticks out that you enjoyed traveling to, or city?
I mean, I really liked playing in Denver. I went there for a preseason game a couple years ago, and the stadium it kind of feels like a college atmosphere. And then a couple years, that was my rookie year, and then a couple years after that, we went out there and played when I was with the Bengals. And the people were rocking, the fans were into it. It really, really cool stadium, really cool atmosphere. That was really rocking. We played the Chiefs 2 years ago when I was in Cincinnati. I want to say it was a Sunday night game, and it was unbelievably loud. So those are a couple cool stadiums. They're all cool though. They all have their own different feel and atmosphere and things like that. So.
You run faster in the thin mountain air. Do we have something to look forward to this season?
Oh yeah, I cut through that thin mountain air.
Couldn't help but ask. I mean, I know you're training here at what is effectively zero in the swamp of Central Florida, so that's a big change. But I'll kind of stick on the road game theme, and I'm actually going to steal from one of my favorite shows, Ryan Russillo. Best plane ride after a game in your career?
Oh man, I mean, it's obviously after a win,
right?
we haven't been to the playoffs or anything like that. Nothing sticks out right now.
But yeah, nothing. Like after a win is markedly different than a loss. Like it's a loss, everyone's just got their head down, kind of.
Yeah, it's a much different feel after a win than after a loss. Guys are, eating, goofing off, doing whatever they do. And then if after a loss, it's kind of like, well, should I be talking right now? Kind of what's the vibe? You kind of feel it out a lot more. But yeah, you could definitely, without knowing, walk on a plane and tell if the team had won or lost based on the energy.
So, Jeff, have you been keeping in touch with Andy Dalton right now? He's a free agent. What have you talked to him? Where do you think he's going to land, and where do you think would be a good fit for him?
Yeah, I mean, I speak with him a decent amount. We're really good buddies. We become really close. When I was in Cincinnati, and I'm not sure where he's going to land. I know he's still on contract in Cincinnati, so I mean that could be a spot he could end up staying there. I really don't know. I know wherever he ends up, though, that organization is going to get a quality player and an even better person in the leader. So wherever he goes, it'll be good.
So I have to ask, us outsiders, we watch Hard Knocks, we get so excited. All these quarterbacks have like 2:27 a.m. wake up times during the season. It's like, yeah, I'm driving to the facility at 3:50 in the morning. Like, no, that can't be real. That's got to be for the cameras. Or do people really get in there that early?
I mean, there's some guys that get in really early. I'm actually one of the guys that gets there. I'm not getting there at 2:27, but I'll get there pretty dang early. I mean, if you look at, through the week, you look at the call sheet and the game plan that we give, there's a lot that you have to know, a lot you have to memorize. You have to be able to, spit out the long play calls in the huddle. And if you're not spending a lot of time looking over that stuff, it's not going to be second nature. And there's so many things that could happen during a game that you have to be prepared for every situation. And it just takes time. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not just for the camera.
Okay. All right. That makes me feel a little bit better. I think it was McVay too on Hard Knocks. It was like driving in at honestly like 4:07, and I'm like, come on, dude.
No, I mean, like, if you think about all the different film that you can watch, all the different self-scout that you can watch, all the different practice film, I mean, there's a lot. And the thing about it is during the week, you have no idea how a game's going to play out, but you have to plan for every situation. And most of those situations never even come up, but they're well planned out during the week. So you have to cram a lot of stuff in a short amount of time.
So how much is self-learning that you have to just kind of take the initiative yourself, or how much of that is you're working with your coaches and they're kind of laying out what you should be working on?
Yeah, I mean, you got to take it among yourself to do it. And that's something that you learn along the way. Going into my rookie year, I didn't know. I thought the coach I thought whatever practice time and meeting time that they gave you, during the day, what they laid out for you, you'd be fine. But if you're only using that amount of time, you're not really going to be as prepared as you should be as a quarterback. So yeah, I mean, you have to be able to do it by yourself, and you have to learn your own process. What days of the week to do what, just so that you can make sure all the boxes are checked at the end of the week.
So along that same vein, rookie head coaches or rookie players, do you think, since this is probably going to be an abbreviated offseason, do you think it's going to be difficult for them to kind of get into that routine and kind of get a feel for how they want their organization structured? Or how do you think that's going to affect teams this year?
I mean, I think it'll be tough for young players just because they don't really know what they don't know yet. And I'm sure there's, going to be a ton of young players that come into the league and say, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to spend the time. And they probably have that full intention, but they just don't know the process and they haven't seen someone do it. So I think there's definitely going to be a learning curve for young players, but I think that's where, coaches and veterans come into play and help those guys along.
So have you been communicating with your new teammates? You're going to be on a new team this year. How's that been going? Is it like you just kind of jump in? Because, I mean, obviously this time of year, you're normally in the room on the practice field with them. So what's that been like in today's environment?
Yeah, I mean, during the off season, there's a handful of guys that you stay in contact with, but it's pretty quiet. These organizations do an awesome job of giving you your time, and then when it's time to go, it's really time to go. And we start our virtual off season program on Monday, so I'll have to circle back on that and let you know how that goes and the challenges and the differences that'll be this year. But I mean, we're all in the same boat. We all have to figure it out, and it'll be a challenge, but I think we'll be able to adapt.
So how do you train right now? Because Tom Brady's getting kicked out of parks in Florida. So how do you get outside and how do you do your own training?
Yeah. So my in the morning, first thing in the morning, I get in my car, move it back about 15 feet, get in my wife's car, move it back about 15 feet, and wheel out all my weights and stuff into my driveway. So that's my gym right now. It's just right out in my driveway. I do my sprints and my running in the street, so I check both ways before I go out in the street. People walking down the road look at me funny because I'm doing all these different exercises and stretches and stuff like that. Some stuff that people probably aren't used to seeing. So I mean, you just got to get creative in what you're doing, and I mean, everyone's gonna expect you to be in good shape when we get back to it, and so that's what I've been doing, just being creative. My brother is here, staying with me during this quarantine, so he's been catching me up. So that's what I've been doing.
Are you wearing a Bane mask?
Oh, what's that?
The Bane mask? Are you wearing those little the altitude whatever masks that they give out for like people to practice working out in high altitude?
Oh, no, I'm not. That's not a bad idea though. People, this is probably never been a better time to wear a Bane mask. That's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, it's true. Then people would really be looking at you funny,
Oh, man. Biggest change from college to pro, outside of paychecks.
Outside of what?
Paychecks.
Oh yeah.
No one gets paid in college, Jared. Come on.
That's right. The biggest difference, I think, is just the schedule. When you're in college, you're expected to be a full-time student, go to class, go to study hall, do all these things. When you're in the NFL, it's like your job is football all day long. Like you have meetings and practice from 9 to 5. It's a normal job. You know what I mean? So you spend a lot more hours in the classroom learning about football, learning what you're supposed to be doing, learning what the other guys are supposed to be doing. So, I mean, I think after your first year in the league, you know so much more about football than you ever did before then, just because the time that you can spend on it. And it's just the best of the best players as well.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to kind of piggyback off of what Jared had mentioned earlier with Hard Knocks, but there was when Hard Knocks was in Tampa, I think Sims had just been drafted by the Bucs, and Gruden was giving him plays. Sims had a hard time now Gruden, I'm sure, is a tough cookie to handle, but he laid into him. But when it came to relaying plays, I mean, I know you were a spread offense guy in college too. Is that also a learning curve of like getting in the huddle, owning the huddle, and also remembering Spider 2Y banana?
Yeah, I've seen that clip. It's something crazy like hop to west right tight 372 Y spot Z stick or something like that.
Yeah.
I remember that clip. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot of people come from college systems where they're not even in the huddle, so they never have to relay what's being chirped in your ear super fast and spit it out in the huddle super fast and not even remember it, but be able to piece it together because you know the offense so well. So it just takes time. You have to learn the whole system. You have to learn how the formation, the protection, the route all work together so that you can piece it together and know it rather than just, all right, what did he just say? I'm going to say the same exact thing he said. You can actually like explain it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, got to regurgitate it. I'm going to go a little off script for something fun. Favorite place to eat in Ruston, Louisiana is?
Oh, baby. There was only a few to choose. There was only a few to choose from when I was there. I've heard they got a few more restaurants since I've been gone, but there was a place called Portico, and it was just American restaurant, it had burgers and stuff like that. It was just one of the only options, but it was good. It was good stuff.
Talking about food, Skyline Chili, yay or nay?
I am a Skyline chili fanatic. I love the conies. Load them down with the chili sauce, load them down with the mustard, onions, cheese. It's pretty sick, but I'm all about it.
Is it nice to be a pro athlete and be able to eat all those things and not be fat like the other three of us on this show?
That's just a treat, though. That's just a treat. I'm not punishing my body too often.
Yeah, you're not treating it like a rental car like the rest of us?
No. Every once in a while, you get a little cheat meal action.
Oh, man. All right, Scott, I'm going to steal your question, but we got to ask the golf question. I'll let you ask it, actually.
Oh no, after you. I got the pairings wrong, but Jeff, who do you got winning the Tiger Peyton Manning versus Brady Phil Mickelson matchup that's coming next month on TNT apparently?
Who is it? Tiger and
Peyton Manning versus Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady.
I'm going to take Tiger and Peyton for the sheer fact that I'm sure Peyton spends a lot more time on his golf game than Brady. I would love to be in that golf cart, though. That'd be some awesome conversation. Yeah.
I saw a clip of Brady and MJ winning the MJ tournament from 2006 yesterday, because there's nothing new on the internet right now, so you have to go back to 2006 to catch interesting stuff.
How'd they do? Did they swing it pretty good?
They won it, yeah. They 10 under. I guess they had a 3 under on the last day.
Well, how about that? I'm taking Peyton and Tiger just because I think Peyton's got the time.
Agreed. Best wide receiver you've ever worked with, college, pro, all the way back to Haggerty, doesn't matter.
Ooh, Haggerty High School. We had some elite level athletes, but I'm going to go with the obvious choice, AJ Green. Absolute freak out there. You can throw the ball like 5 yards out of bounds. Somehow he'll catch it and get his feet down. Somehow those toes just end up right inside the line. But yeah, he was awesome player, awesome teammate. So AJ Green for sure.
It's a shame he hasn't been able to stay healthy, because I agree with you. And I feel like underrated based on his relative lack of health the last few years.
Yeah, I mean, you're around playing with playing in the league 4 or 5 years now. You're around a ton of good receivers, and if somebody just stands out that much, that person's special because he's different.
Not to downplay any football at all, but what do players think about Thursday night games? Now, I'll take any football right now, any sports, but Thursday night, when we're back in the full swing of things, what do players think about the Thursday night off the Sunday game?
There's a varying, differing viewpoints on that. Some guys love it because you just go out and play. There's no practice time. You go out there, have a couple walkthroughs, and you slap it on and you go play football. And then you get a long weekend. But, I mean, Thursday is right around the time where your body is starting to feel okay after a game. After a game, it takes some time to recover and things like that. So there's definitely pros and cons. I understand why we do it for the consumer. It's awesome to be able to watch football midweek, and there's something special about playing a game when there's no other games going on. But I mean, it's tough on the bodies, but it's everyone does it.
All right, we got 2. It's 8:50. We are bumping up against your time, so I'm going to do rapid fire 2 questions. It's one or the other. So we only have time for 2 questions, not like 10. Pizza or pasta?
Pizza. You can eat it faster and you eat it with your hands.
Xbox or PS4, or if you're in my camp, neither?
Neither. I'm going to go with Scott and Words with Friends.
I like that. Well, Jeff, I know we're bumping up against your time here, and we were a little bit late on the technology side. So Thank you so much for joining us. This has been a ton of fun, and best of luck this year. We didn't even get to talk about going to Denver. We're looking forward to seeing you out there, and maybe even the Junkies will come see you out in Vegas.
Road trip out to the Vegas. Oh, Vegas! You guys need to make
Vegas.
it to Denver.
Denver. We could do Kansas City. Kansas City's a lot easier for us East Coasters here, but.
No, I got you. Junkies, I appreciate you having me.
All right,
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
See you guys.